In this video, I'm going to teach you a RoboHumanist hack to calm down your nervous system within a few minutes, no matter what's going on, no matter how busy you are, no matter how stressed you feel. This is a really exciting thing, and it works so well. And I'm super grateful that I discovered this quite randomly, and then I started doing the research behind it afterwards. So in this video, I'm going to in the first section, I'm going to explain what it is and how it works. I'm going to explain my own experience and then also a little bit of the science behind it. And then afterwards, we'll do a guided practice where I will guide you to experience this yourself. You can start practicing this and training this muscle. So then when you need to use it, you have it really ready and it works immediately. So I call this the safe place method. And it really just comes from a simple way. You need to find your safe place. Now, a safe place can be a beach, it can be a forest hill, it can be a mountain range, really whatever it is. Now, it is better if it is a real place that you have been to, that you've experienced, where you felt completely and fully safe, but it doesn't have to be, and it can be only a place that you imagine, that you've created only in your mind. It doesn't have to be real. The main rule of the safe place is that there has to be a horizon, and then there has to be you gotta be able to have a wide field of view in front of you, at least like this, and that is not covered. Let me explain how I discovered this. When I was about 13-14 years old, I struggled with really severe depression and I was super socially anxious. I absolutely hated myself, and I googled how to be happy to try and get out of it. And I started a journal, and I started changing my habits and studying practical psychology and things like that. And one of the things that I started doing is I got really into mountain biking. And so I would take my bike a couple days a week. I would take my bike up into a hill right behind my house. Now, keep in mind, I used to get bullied in school, and my parents would fight every single day. It was a hostile environment, toxic environment, people yelling, screaming at each other every day. We got physical punishments all the time, and it was just a really heavy environment to be in. So my nervous system was always on edge, kind of looking over my shoulder to make sure that I'm safe, that nobody's, out to get me. And that started burning me out really quickly, really badly, because my cortisol was up. Right now, back then I didn't understand. Now I understand. My cortisol and adrenaline levels were always elevated, which in turn, was breaking down my body, even at that young age, and breaking down my mind to the point where I wanted to end it. I was suicidal. And so after I started biking, I discovered this one place, and wow, it's this amazing place that almost nobody knew about this. It was like very peaceful and quiet, like almost nobody was there, which was amazing. So I was able to get away from people completely, and it was up the mountain, up the road, and then there was this like little secret, almost like a secret path, like a dirt path that led to this field on the top of a hill. And just I really went. The first time I went there, I was just biking, and there's this tree line, and as soon as you kind of get out of it, and the view just opens up, and it's a huge view of the valley where my town is. My town has about 20,000 people, so it's a small industrial town, and a huge view of the valley, and one is like right there. And I can see my house, I can see my school, I can see the factories, I can see like the downtown area, everything. And I can also see the surrounding villages, and I can also see a bigger city way down the valley. And I was mesmerized. What an amazing view. And then some hills as well. And it was like I could see the horizon. And that's the important part. The horizon and a wide field of view. The first time I went there, I remember I was just so amazed. And I sat down, and I sat there for maybe 30 minutes or whatever. And it was the first time, one of the first times ever, that I felt like I could take a breath. I was safe. So relaxed. And I started going there a couple times a week just to reset, just to experience this, just to have this peace of this place. And so that's how I discovered that this is something that works. But I didn't know why. I just knew that it worked, and I knew I enjoyed it, and I just kept coming back. much later, like years later, discovered that there's actually like real science behind this. And it's quite fascinating. So in today's world specifically, especially when we look at something that's really close by, especially our laptops or our phones, and we pay attention to what's in our immediate circle, our adrenaline goes up, our cortisol goes up to help us pay attention and make sure that we are safe. Right? This is evolutionary. Every time you needed to pay attention to what's in your current immediate surroundings, you had to be on high to make sure that it's not a predator, or to make sure that, you know, this mushroom isn't going to kill you, or this berry is the berry that you can eat. And so it makes sense. And the fascinating thing is that our eyes are actually an outside extension of our brain. It's an organ that's a part of the nervous system, and so it's very closely connected to our brain. So what we see and what we interpret visually impacts our brain quite a lot. Of course, other senses impact this as well. But there is a biological trigger for seeing the horizon to trigger a cortisol drop and serotonin release to be able to relax and be safe. Logically, this also makes sense, because if you have a wide view and you see the horizon, you see everything in front of you, and you can see you're looking into the distance, it is safe. You can see an immediate threat. You will detect the threat if it's coming from the distance already, so you can prepare. You don't have to be on edge in that exact moment. And your nervous system gets triggered into the parasympathetic. It's the sympathetic and parasympathetic nervous system. Sympathetic nervous system means you're on high alert, you're on stress, and you're paying attention closely into right now, this threat, this task, this email, or this phone being buzzing. When you're in a parasympathetic mode, your hormonal structure, the neurochemicals that are in your brain and in your body are different. Your brain operates in different brain waves, right? We drop down into more alpha brain waves rather than beta brain waves, which means your brain slows down. We are able to relax, and it's really, really fascinating. The best part about this is that our brain actually struggles to differentiate what we really experience and what we visualize. And I've discovered I can actually get the same results, the same experience, by just projecting myself back to that place, back to that safe space, rather than even going there. Spending 2 hours to hop on my bike and go all the way up the mountain and sit on that place. I could just sit down in my room, or even in a different country when I was, let's say, a little bit stressed and I was traveling around, and I can just sit down in my country and project myself like I'm there again. See what I saw, see the view, see all of this, hear the quiet, maybe the nature, maybe some birds, and smell the grass, trees. And I would get the same result, almost the same results and feeling and experience like I did when I was in the place for real. And I found that really fascinating. And again, back then I probably didn't know the science or the explanation behind this yet. I just knew that it worked. So I started doing it. And I started implementing this into my meditation practice. So then I knew that when I practice it more, I can pull it out. And then when I really need it, I can use it because I'm trained in it. Think of meditation, or think of this visualization exercise as using a fire hydrant to extinguish a house that's on fire. You're not gonna wait until the house is on fire to build the fire hydrant. That wouldn't work. The house is gonna burn down. And that's the same with meditation. And the reason I think why a lot of people try meditation and it doesn't work, or it makes them feel even worse, is because they only try to meditate when they're really on edge, when they're super stressed, when they're really struggling. And so I try to meditate, but it only makes it worse because I'm not practicing it. I haven't built my fire hydrant yet, and I'm trying to build it while the house is on fire. Of course, that's gonna make you feel worse and more stressed. However, if you practice meditation from a more calm state, maybe in the morning every day, or in the evenings every day, or just throughout the day, every now and then, couple days a week, By that, when you then try and use it in a high stakes, high pressure, high stress situation, then it's like the fire hydrant is right there and just connect to it and you can use it. So a fun analogy that I like to use for practicing meditation or these kind of visual, don't want to wait until you need to employ it immediately to start practicing it. Now, it can help even if you've never done it before this way, because it's not just a traditional meditation, because it's a safe place practice where you're projecting yourself and you're using visually your sensory input to like align your biology with a safe feelings and to drop your cortisol and things like that. So it can work, but it's much better, it's much more effective if you practice it ahead of time. All right? And with that, let's get into the second part of this video, which is the guided practice. I'm going to gently guide you to sit down, take a comfortable position. Welcome to the Safe Place Visualization and Meditation Guided Method that is designed to help you calm down your nervous system by engaging your biology in a safe, direct way. We will use a safe place that you've experienced in your real life or that you can vividly visualize, and it can be completely made up. This works on biology because seeing the horizon induces our nervous system to calm down, to drop our cortisol levels, and to increase our serotonin levels. So I'm going to invite you to find a comfortable position, either sitting down or laying down. Sitting down can be better for the visualization part. And take a deep breath. You can gently close your eyes and take a second deep breath. Now think of a place that you've been to or that you can imagine that is a beautiful place. You can see the horizon. It can be the beach, or it can be a foresty hill, or it can be the mountaintops. The main important thing is that you're somewhere where you can see the horizon and you have a wide field of view. And you can imagine yourself sitting down in this place and just taking the view. Look around. Look left. Look right. Look straight ahead. And just enjoy the view for a few moments. Enjoy the view and try and pay attention to the sounds. What can you hear? Can you hear the ocean waves? Or can you hear the birds chirping? Fully project yourself to this place and imagine like you are there right now, fully. Can you feel the grass that you're sitting on? Or maybe it's a bench. What can you smell? Can you smell the ocean waves, the salty water? Or can you smell the grass or the trees? Just spend a few moments in this beautiful place where you are completely safe, away from all the chaos and all the stress and struggle. You can fully relax. taking the view once again. Enjoy the mountains or the ocean or the boats or the village. What can you see on the horizon? Let yourself sink into the moment and sink into the place that is near and dear your heart. Because you know you can always return back here to recharge, calm yourself down, and enjoy the beautiful peace that this place has to offer. Take another deep breath. And take a moment to express and feel some gratitude that you have this place available for you, whether it is in real life or inside your mind and your heart. Because no matter what, you can always return back here for a few minutes and tap into the beauty and the peace of this wonderful, wonderful place. Now, whenever you feel ready, you can just slowly open your eyes and come back to the reality. And just for a moment, stay in that peace and try to carry over that peace and that feeling from the safe place. As you just look around and you pay attention to how you feel, and you notice what you can see around here, around yourself. Maybe something that's close by, but also something that's a little bit further away. Just look around, smile, and get ready to tackle your next task.